For years, biblical films have often been remembered for their grand battle sequences, epic spectacles, and legendary heroes. Yet David, which officially premiered on July 10, takes a remarkably different approach. Rather than introducing audiences to the fearless warrior who defeats the giant Goliath, the film begins with something far more intimate: a young man overwhelmed by fear and despair, and a mother's unwavering faith that never abandons him. Shortly after its theatrical release, the production unveiled the music video for Why God My God, a powerful duet performed by Park Bo-gum and Cha Ji Yeon. Within just a few minutes, the song captivated audiences, proving that it is much more than a soundtrack. It serves as the emotional core of the entire film. Unlike conventional movie OSTs that simply accompany dramatic scenes, Why God My God unfolds as an intimate conversation between two souls. On one side stands David, a young shepherd fleeing into the wilderness as King Saul's jealousy turns him into a hunted man. On the other is his mother, Netzebet, whose steadfast faith becomes the guiding light that refuses to let her son surrender to despair. The music video opens with haunting visuals of David wandering alone through the wilderness. Gone is the image of the future king celebrated throughout history. Instead, Park Bo-gum portrays a vulnerable young man weighed down by fear, loneliness, and uncertainty. His emotional delivery of lyrics such as "Lord, why have you forsaken me?" and "I go to the wilderness, escaping the shadow of death" reflects not only David's desperation but also the universal human struggle to find hope when everything seems lost. What makes Park Bo-gum's performance particularly compelling is his willingness to embrace vulnerability rather than heroism. Instead of presenting David as an invincible biblical figure, he allows audiences to witness his emotional wounds, inner conflicts, and moments of doubt. This raw authenticity transforms David from a legendary character into someone deeply relatable, a man searching for meaning while standing at the edge of hopelessness. If Park Bo-gum embodies human uncertainty, Cha Ji Yeon represents unwavering faith. Playing David's mother, Netzebet, she delivers emotionally rich lines such as "When the path is completely unseen, please be the star we follow," and "We are not alone." Every lyric feels less like a performance and more like a mother's heartfelt prayer, offering comfort to a son who has lost his way. Cha Ji Yeon's powerful vocals elevate the emotional weight of the film. Her voice carries both remarkable strength and profound tenderness, perfectly capturing a mother's unconditional love. Long before the film's release, she expressed her affection for the project, saying that this particular song touched her deeply because it fully embodied a mother's love. That sincerity resonates throughout every note she sings, making Netzebet not merely a supporting character but the emotional anchor of David's journey. Perhaps the film's greatest surprise lies in what it chooses not to emphasize. Most audiences associate David's story with his legendary victory over Goliath. However, rather than rushing toward that iconic confrontation, the filmmakers spend considerable time exploring the emotional and psychological journey that shapes David before he ever picks up a sling. The audience watches an ordinary shepherd confront fear, loneliness, betrayal, and questions about faith long before destiny calls him to become king. In doing so, David shifts the focus from external victory to internal transformation. This creative decision gives the film a refreshing perspective rarely seen in biblical adaptations. It raises an important question: what truly makes a king? Is it the ability to defeat giants on the battlefield, or the courage to overcome the giants within oneself? The film quietly suggests that every great victory begins with surviving moments of overwhelming doubt. Beyond its emotional storytelling, David has also enjoyed an impressive start at the box office. Since opening on July 10, the film has attracted 49,834 moviegoers within its first 2 days, surpassing the opening performance of God's Orchestra, a religious film that ultimately went on to sell 1.45 million tickets during its theatrical run. For many industry observers, these numbers carry significance beyond simple statistics. Faith-based films have traditionally appealed to a niche audience and rarely generate strong opening day momentum. David's promising debut suggests that modern audiences are increasingly drawn to stories rooted in authentic human emotion rather than spectacle alone. Park Bo-gum's participation has undoubtedly drawn widespread attention, but the film never relies solely on his star power. Instead, it uses his performance to tell a timeless story about faith, loss, resilience, and hope. That approach has resonated with viewers, many of whom describe David not merely as a religious film but as a deeply human story for anyone who has ever experienced loneliness, disappointment, or self-doubt. At a time when blockbuster cinema often competes through breathtaking visual effects and larger-than-life action sequences, David chooses a quieter path. It wins audiences over through sincerity, emotional honesty, and meaningful storytelling. Ironically, the film's most unforgettable battle may not be David's confrontation with Goliath at all. Instead, it is the emotional battle portrayed in Why God My God, the struggle between despair and hope, fear and faith, darkness and light. If its current box office momentum continues, David has every opportunity to become one of this year's most remarkable inspirational films. Yet even before setting new commercial milestones, the movie has already achieved something far more valuable. It has reminded audiences that true strength is not found in never falling, but in finding the courage to rise again, supported by faith and the unconditional love of those who never stop believing in us.